Your dog suddenly starts guarding one completely ordinary object. Have you ever noticed your dog suddenly becoming obsessed with something that seems completely meaningless to you? Maybe it's an old sock, a cardboard box, a blanket, a slipper, a water bottle, or even an empty corner of the room. At first, it looks almost funny. Your dog picks the object up, carries it around, places their body over it, and suddenly becomes strangely protective whenever you get close. You might reach for it, and your dog immediately watches your hand. You move it, and they follow. Someone else approaches, and your dog positions themselves between that person and the object. It can feel like your dog has decided that this random household item is suddenly the most valuable thing in the entire house. But here's where it gets interesting. Dogs don't always value objects for the same reasons humans do. Sometimes, the object itself isn't important at all. What matters is what the object represents to your dog. Dogs experience the world through scent, sound, association, routine, and emotional memory. An ordinary object to you can carry an enormous amount of information for them. A blanket might smell strongly like you. A shoe might contain traces of places you've recently visited. A box might have an unfamiliar scent that your dog finds fascinating. Even something as boring as a towel can become meaningful because it is connected to a particular person, event, or routine. Your dog may not understand the object as a towel. Their brain may be processing it as a collection of familiar smells and emotional associations. This is why the first clue is often not the object itself, but what changed around it. Did you recently bring it into the house? Did someone use it? Did you move it from another room? Did it suddenly become associated with a new routine? Dogs are extremely sensitive to environmental changes that humans barely notice. You might see an ordinary cardboard box. Your dog might detect traces of another animal, food, outdoor smells, or a person who handled it before it entered your home. And then there is another possibility. Your dog may be guarding something because guarding itself has become rewarding. Imagine your dog discovers an object, places their paw on it, and you immediately walk over. From your perspective, you're simply curious. But from your dog's perspective, something interesting just happened. They possessed an object, you approached, and suddenly they received attention. If this pattern repeats, the behavior can become stronger. The dog learns, without consciously planning it, that possessing this object creates an interaction. This is where people sometimes make a mistake. They assume the dog is being stubborn, jealous, dominant, or deliberately disobedient. But behavior is usually more complicated than that. Your dog isn't sitting there thinking, "I'm going to control the household with this sock." Their brain is responding to associations, emotions, and consequences. If guarding the object makes something interesting happen, the behavior can become reinforced. There is another fascinating reason this behavior can appear suddenly: scarcity. An object can become valuable simply because you keep trying to take it away. Think about what happens when your dog grabs something they normally ignore. You immediately chase them. You reach for it. Your voice changes. Suddenly, the boring object becomes the center of a dramatic game. Your dog runs away, you follow, and now the object has acquired a completely different emotional value. What began as a random possession can turn into a prized treasure. But there is an important distinction between harmless attachment and resource guarding. If your dog simply lies beside an object, carries it around, or seems interested in it without showing distress, the behavior may be relatively mild. But if your dog freezes when you approach, stiffens their body, lowers their head over the object, growls, bares their teeth, snaps, or attempts to bite, that is a different situation. Those behaviors can indicate resource guarding, and forcing the object away can make the problem worse. Instead of turning it into a confrontation, the goal should be to teach your dog that your approach predicts something positive. In many cases, this means using calm trade-based training. Rather than grabbing the object, you offer something your dog values more, allowing them to voluntarily move away from it. Over time, the dog can learn that humans approaching their possessions doesn't automatically mean losing everything. And there is one detail many owners completely overlook. The object may have become important because of comfort. Dogs can develop attachments to objects that provide emotional security. A soft blanket, stuffed toy, or piece of clothing carrying their owner's scent can function almost like a portable comfort zone. If your dog becomes protective of something that smells strongly like you, the behavior may not be about possession in the way you imagine. It may be about security. That could also explain why the behavior appears during stressful periods. A change in household routine, visitors, construction noise, another animal, travel, or even a different daily schedule can make familiar scents and objects more comforting. Your dog may gravitate towards something predictable because predictability feels safe. So the next time your dog suddenly starts guarding one completely ordinary object, don't immediately ask, "Why does my dog want this useless thing?" Ask a better question. What does this object mean to my dog? Maybe it smells like you. Maybe it carries a new scent. Maybe it became part of a recent routine. Maybe your reactions accidentally made it valuable. Or maybe your dog discovered that protecting it gives them a sense of comfort and control in an environment that recently changed. The object may look ordinary. The meaning behind it may not be ordinary at all. And that's one of the strangest things about living with dogs. We share the same house, the same furniture, and the same everyday objects, but we don't experience that environment in the same way. You see a sock. Your dog sees a story written in scent. You see an empty box. Your dog sees information. You see an old blanket. Your dog may see comfort, familiarity, and safety. So if your dog suddenly chooses one completely ordinary object and starts guarding it, watch carefully before you laugh or take it away. Look at when the behavior happens, what changed recently, how your dog reacts when you approach, and whether the object carries a familiar or unusual scent. Because sometimes the weirdest behavior isn't random at all. Your dog may simply be telling you that, in their world, that ordinary object isn't ordinary anymore.